Righty ho, here we are back again for another video. Now I'm hoping to get as much as I can done this week as it's coming up to Christmas, and I want to try and get this to a good state for me going away, so when I come back we're just building and doing loads of fun stuff. But until then it's just plasterboarding, insulation and other bits and pieces that I really cannot be bothered doing, but they need to be done. Now on that note, to make things worse, last time when we'd finished up I'd forgot one big thing and it's taken me a whole day to try and fix it. And it's been a bit of a nightmare. So when I put the plasterboard up the last time, I forgot to put up the vapour barrier. Now the vapour barrier is essentially this green stuff that stops moisture getting to the back of the plasterboard and stops it from going mouldy at the back. Now I should have known to do this, and I've done it many a time before. However, for some reason it completely blew over my mind. I think it's just this time of year, there's just so much going on, and yeah, it's it's stupid, really stupid. But we got it sorted. However, in order to sort it, we had to take off all the plasterboard that we put up, meaning the roof had to come down, all of the plasterboard on the walls had to come down, and this green vapour barrier stuff had to go up. Now, I've spent all day today doing it, and it's done. Thank God. It's been a nightmare. My shoulders are killing me, but we got there in the end. So, this is how we're looking just now. As it stands, vapour barrier, as you can see, is up. This has all been redone. This wall's all been redone. The roof has all been redone. Now, I pointed out the last time I had this gap right down the middle, so instead of having that and that silly little bit, which would have been a nightmare, bump that up to the side, sheet here, and then now have a bit at the end, which means there is no long bonds right the way down the roof. We now just have this piece here.
Nice.
Also to note on top of this, and this is why I love doing projects like this, because you learn something new from every different project that you take on. Now the other day I had the joiner come over and give me a hand to fit the doors, which we'll get to in a second. But when he was here, I was like asking him loads of questions, just kind of like, what would you do different if you were doing this project? And the main thing he pointed out, which again is so obvious and I really should have done it but I never thought about it at the time, was, you know, get the roof done first and the flooring before you start building internal walls. Yes. Would have made life a hell of a lot easier. It just means you could have plasterboarded the whole roof, done the whole floor, instead of having like these silly little cuts up here and little bits and pieces, and you know what I mean. It just would have made things a little bit easier. However, lesson learned. On to the next part, which is the doors. We now have a nice set of French doors fitted, and also we have the little window fitted as well, which is good because it means now in here it's wind and watertight, and I can put the heater on and stay nice and toasty, which is what we want this time of year. So that brings us to the present and where we are right now and what we do going forward. So the next thing to be done is I need to crack on with the wardrobe, get this little bit here finished, and I need to put the vapour barrier up on this wall, get the TV bit sorted, get the rest of the insulation in, and get the plasterboard up all the way around, and then at that point I can crack on and start finishing off the bathroom. So let's get to it. Before I got started on the insulation in the kitchen, I had to get the pipes for the kitchen sink sorted first. I had a couple of small clips I 3D printed previously lying about, so I fixed these on to make sure the setup was neat. From here it was a case of getting some 90-degree elbows fitted so I could leave the tails sticking out the wall. These would be plumbed up when the kitchen was installed. Once I'd done this, I taped up any little gaps to help with the insulation, then got on to pinning up the vapour barrier. This was a little bit of a nightmare doing it on my own, but I got there. Next up, I started getting more sheets of plasterboard up. This is just a rinse and repeat process throughout, nothing overly exciting. over the last couple of days I've been working my way around the room doing the plasterboard, and it's been going okay. However, I've got to the part where I'm doing the wardrobe. Now I have an idea in my head of what I want to do, but when it comes to building it,
What did he say?
I'm struggling with like where things are going and what I'm doing. So I figured I'd give modelling it a shot. So in order to replicate the model, I'm going to have to get this bit taken off, finish boxing off the back section so that the plywood can just be built on the inside. But as it stands, it's actually looking not too bad. As I've mentioned previously, I am still very new to 3D modelling, but this was a model that I'd mocked up in SketchUp using my iPad, and really it took no time at all. It's not yet fully complete and there's still a few details that I need to add, but it gave me a rough idea of how all the pieces were going to fit together. Next up, and a part that I've been trying to get my head around for a little while, is the box I'm going to build for behind the TV. Now the plan on this is to keep all the cables hidden, so therefore I need an area where I can run HDMI cables, power cables, you name it. This was the idea I came up with, so I built this kind of box section. This is how all the bits were going to fit in. These boxes would sit right here, and it just kind of lines up perfectly with the TV mount, right in between these slots. So after I'd mocked this up, I got the laser level out, got the centre sorted, and then got to fixing the box up on the wall. So after I'd got the centrepiece sorted, I wanted to get the plasterboard around it all finished up, which was the last piece I had to do in this main room. In order to do this, I used some thin tile batting and then used some spacers to make sure everything was sitting square. The last thing I needed to do was mock up a faceplate for the centre box. Now this was very rushed, it was getting late, and I will probably replace this in the future, but it was just to give me an idea of how things were coming together and get this bit almost complete. Now in this video I haven't got through half as much as what I'd hoped, but it is coming up to Christmas and there's so much going on right now. But as it stands, I'm happy with the progress. Hopefully in the next one we'll have a lot more to show.